all year you thought this team was close. They're very young. I know you're disappointed you're not going to get to coach them next year, but what do you foresee for this team going forward in 2010 and beyond?
We've got to get our defense cranked up. I really felt like our offense played as good as we used to play back in the 90s. I thought our offense was that productive, but we simply couldn't stop people. You score 44 points against Tech and lose. You score 34 against Miami and lose. You know, I mean, we used to score 20 points. You can win that game. You know, so we've got to build up that defensive football team, and maybe they will. But that's probably been one of the big problems we've had. I don't think it's our coaching as much as it is we've got just don't have the talent I think that we had when Marvin Jones and Derek Brooks and a lot of those guys were playing for us. Now they can get that. They'll get that. I think this crew that he's going to bring in here are going to be good recruiters.
Bobby, this is Mickey for Fair.
Where are you, Mickey? Where are you?
Coach,
where's Mickey? I have a man.
How big was that score? You not only scored in the third quarter, but you took almost 7 minutes off the clock. Was that big and vital? Yes,
that was very big. When you play somebody like this team here, Mountaineers, that have a back like number 7, your time of possession is going to be very important. Remember when we used to play Dorset up at Pitt, you better keep the ball because he's going to get one. He's going to get it. Dorset would get one every game, you know, and Divine's the same way. So the score was important, but the 7 minutes were very important too.
Coach, one other thing, if I might have a follow-up, You didn't explain to the other people, the media here, that in that game at Pitt in 1970, in the second half, you didn't have your best defender in there. That's the reason you lost that game.
Well, we did have some injuries. We did have some injuries that affected us. And but the thing it's funny. I know y'all ain't interested in what happened in 1970, but I'm gonna tell you anyway because you're sitting there. So we're playing Pitt up at Pitt, and that's the big rivalry is West Virginia and Pitt. It's like Florida State, and we got ahead of them 35-8, just killing them. And so what their coach did now, because he told me about it later, he was so embarrassed he took all of his wide receivers out and played the second half with 3 big old tight ends. All he wanted to do was kind of keep the score from getting run up, you know. And what he did, he came up about 5 times with 4th and 1 and went for it and made it. And we couldn't stop him. We simply couldn't stop him. And I was sitting on the darn ball. I wouldn't go ahead and open up our offense until it was too late. Like I said, it's the last time I've played conservative football.
Bobby, you didn't answer the second part of the question I asked a while ago. Today, were you aware of the last game of it, the ultimate game, the last fourth quarter, the last third quarter? And did you think about it all for old years, old players, old moments?
Did I think of old players and old moments during that time of the day?
During the game.
Not too much. I can't remember thinking too much about that. I probably reflected back to games here in the Gator Bowl because they were fresh on my mind, you know. And we played, that's the third time we played West Virginia in the Gator Bowl. I think I reflected back a few times on what happened in those games.
Any regrets, Bobby?
Pardon?
Any regrets at all? 389 wins?
You know, I wanted 400 so bad. I wanted 400 so bad because I felt like, well, Joe's going to beat me when they took away those games. Joe's going to beat me. And if I could just get to 400, it'd be me and him at 4. You know, I could hang around with him and follow him around a little bit. But I wanted 400, but didn't get a shot at it.
Bobby, everybody always says it's hard to follow a legend. Do you have any advice for Jimbo or any advice for the Florida State fans when following Jimbo?
Well, they've got to be very patient with anybody. Anybody that coaches as long as I have, the next guy coming in has got to be very careful. And I really have a lot of confidence in him. He's one of the sharpest coaches, young coaches I have seen. And he'll hire well, he'll recruit well. I think he'll do good. Now, I want to leave town. I definitely want to leave town. I've always said when I finish a job like this, I do not want to hang around and get compared. People say, well, Bobby, what would you have done? Well, what should he have done? Well, how come you didn't do it like Bobby did? You know, I didn't want to go there. I don't want him to go through that, so I'm hightailing it out here as soon as I can. When I say soon, season's not till next September, but as soon as then I can get everything all squared away. We'll probably go to Panama City.
Yeah, that's right.
There. Yeah, that's our second home anyway, between there and Birmingham. We're keeping a house in Tallahassee.
Coach Bowden, if you had to write the story for tomorrow, what would you say about who Bobby Bowden really was and all these good years and over the years? What would you say, what was you all about? You think about everything you've done, representing Florida State now.
Well, my headline would probably be Bobby Bowden pulled out another great win with his excellent strategy. He jerked the mic away from Jimbo Fisher and started calling plays himself. That's why they won. Another lie with it. Another lie.
Coach, in the last minute, but right here in front, it looked like you had a special moment or two with Jim Gladden, Chris Wanke, Derek Brooks. Just what did that mean?
Oh, that means it's just about as meaningful as anything you get. Anybody who's worked a job, doesn't have to be a football coach, could be a writer, could be anyone that's worked at a job as long as I have, and then you know you're fixing to leave, and then people come up and hug your neck that you coached 10 years ago or 20 years ago or 15 years ago and helped you be successful. It is a great closeness there. It's like a family. It's like a family, you know, and I really appreciate all those boys coming back to the game.
Coach Bowden, right here, you said some time ago, I remember this quote, whenever something bad happens in your life, it's soon followed by something good. Was the, if you will, forced resignation the bad, and how good was today? How nice will this taste for years to come?
Well, this will be good, you know, because you always remember that last game, and so you always remember it as a win, and it'd be just like, it's a good feeling, but you know how wins last 24 hours. You know, you win and you're happy and you can go home and you eat good and you drive back and then back to work. Back to work. Because when you're coaching, it's, well, the next game, you know, then you lose, you forget about that last win. But it's nice, I guess, and it's nice to end your career with a win, and that's what the boys did for us, and I'm excited about it. You know,